Hey guys, it's another video. This week I'm going to be talking about 2021's Free Guy. Because this film only came out this year, I'm going to attempt to keep this video spoiler free. If there is a spoiler, I'm hoping I won't, but if there is, there'll be a sticker that appears so that that warns you, so you can like skip past that point, and it will stay there the whole section. So like if you like fast forward, you can see the frame. It should disappear when it's not spoiler anymore. I first watched Free Guy in the cinema. Before watching it, I had only watched one trailer, which was a cinema trailer like the week before, and I have to say I have no idea what was happening or like where anything was going for most of the movie, but it did not disappoint. What I mean by I had no idea what was going on is what the expectations that I had gathered, even like the small ones from the trailer, were completely wrong. Like the trailer literally just gives nothing away. So this, like, once it started, basically my expectations, the film went wrong. Like I was sat there, I was like, but it was really good. It was really good. Like, I was blown away. It was really good. It's just one that, like, the trailer doesn't prepare you for it in any way, shape or form. Like, I feel like the trailer and the film are two completely different things. How I would describe the genre of the film, I think, is that actually, this is what I said to someone the other day, is I think it could fall into a rom-com category because there is like a romance going on. Obviously, it's not it's not majorly romance, but there is a romance line. So I would say it technically falls into an action rom-com. I like it, it's good. It's good. It's one that like the whole family can enjoy, I think. I say that, is it a 12? So maybe not the whole family. My dad described it as being a mix of The Truman Show meets Ready Player One meets The Matrix, and having seen 2 out of 3 of those films, I think I agree. That's quite accurate. So if you've not seen it yet, keep that in your brain when you watch it. So my description of the storyline, obviously spoiler free, I'm keeping this as spoiler free as I can. Guy is an NPC video game character. What I gather is NPC stands for non-player character. So he's just like one of the background characters. You know, like when you're on Sims and there's just those other ones that have nothing to do with your household? He's one of them. But, so he's a video game character that doesn't know he's in a video game. And it's following him and how he relates to the events that are happening in the real world that require the game world to like fix or like / solve the problem. It's a lot more complex and like nuanced than that. That's what I can say without like ruining anything, I suppose. And like the story does flip between what's going on in the real world and what's occurring in the game world, but it's majorly set in the game world. I have to say, I'm a big fan of like the music decisions that have been made throughout the film. Like, there's just some very good, some very funny song choices that like really fit well with the moment that's happening. It just works. It really works. There's one bit where Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus is played, and it's funny. It's a well-placed, well-timed use of the song. I am a big fan, okay, of all the Easter eggs and like the cameos that are dotted throughout the film, and like there are a lot. Like, it does not disappoint. It's packed full, genuinely packed full. I have to say though, the gamer cameos were definitely lost on me, but like I assume that would have been cool if they're like people you follow and watch regularly. And I think I read somewhere that they were used quite frequently and well as a resource for the actual production to keep the film accurate to like the actual gaming culture or something along those lines, which is pretty cool. Other than the very obvious cameos, which I'm not gonna like state who it is because they're a fun surprise, like I'm not gonna ruin that. I missed all of the hidden ones in my first watch in the cinema, I saw an article that was like all the hidden cameos and it listed them and I was like, what? Where? But now, okay, I've watched it on Disney Plus and I've definitely figured out where Hugh Jackman's cameo is, and I think I know where The Rock's is, but I'm still lost on Tina Fey's and John Krasinski's. I mean, they're all voice cameos, so it's understandable why they're like easy to miss because you don't see their face, but I'm yet to find those two. I need to rewatch it again to be sure that I know where The Rock's is. Also, I'm like 90% sure that Sean Levy's daughters all have some sort of small role in the film, which like is cool for them. I mean, if your dad's the director of the film, it's definitely an action-packed film. Like, it's not short of fight scenes or shootouts or like stunts, car stunts, that type of vibe by any degree. We all know I love a good fight scene. I definitely in this film get my fill of explosions. The big final fight scene though, it's something else. I mean, it's my favourite. It's genuinely the best part of the film for me. And oh my god, it has some sick Easter eggs. Are they Easter? I mean, I say Easter eggs. I think they're classed as Easter eggs. But like, it's one of those, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. If you've not seen it, when you watch it, you should pick up what I'm putting down. Like, but when I watched it in the cinema, for the whole of that bit, I was just like my mind was just being blown. My tiny brain couldn't handle it. With the way it's advertised, and by that I mean like the actors, I thought that Taika Waititi was gonna be in it a bit more. It takes 40 minutes for him to show up, and then he's not really like on screen a lot until nearer the end. I mean, I guess nowadays like he is big enough that just his name is gonna be used wherever it can to like get audiences in. And like, I mean, it's not, to be honest, I don't really have an issue with it because his character is very like side. He's not the main character, you know, but you think he has a bigger role because of his name, but it's not actually as big. But he is there, and his character is definitely on brand with the like usual chaos that he brings. So like, it's not disappointing. I was just a bit like confused, but it works. The film as a whole, I have to say, is very clever, it's very fun. It feels original. Even if you can use other films to describe it, it definitely has its own vibe. And it's definitely got its own like unique feel to it. You don't watch it and like feel like you've watched this film a million times just in a different font, which I have to say, do you know what, it's quite difficult to do nowadays. Like, there's just so much out there that like it's really difficult to have like a fully original idea. But I think this film does serve that. In my opinion, there was definitely a saturation of internet jokes and memes embedded throughout, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I definitely had moments where I was like, hang on a minute, I've seen that on the internet. Like, something someone said was something that had originally been like a tweet or a Tumblr post or something like that, and I was like, what? That's a meme in the flesh. But like, if you're my dad, who's not as like active on the internet, then I guess it wouldn't have been as obvious. It's just one of those things where like for a very small second, I felt like I was like taken out of the film and then put back in, because it was something I was like, hang on a minute, I've read that before. I know that. What are you saying? Like, that's a joke that's been around for ages. It's a thin line to walk, but it wasn't like they didn't work for the situations they were being used in, and they did get a laugh, like they were well used. It's just for a moment I was like, wait, we all know I am an absolute sucker for a good friendship, okay? And I have to say, Guy and Buddy, they provide. They do provide. I mean, Buddy has to be his best friend. They've called the flipping Guy Buddy. I mean, he definitely comes through. So it works, it does work. It's an appropriate name for an appropriate character. And don't even get me started on Dude. Oh my gosh. There's definitely moments where you're like, okay, they need to tread very lightly, otherwise this could get really cringe and really old real fast. But I do think they manage it well. Like, they don't hit that point where you're like, this is boring now, with the use of like the character being dumb. It's good. You know, it adds extra levels, dynamics. It's a great time. My final point for the film is my single qualm I have with it, and that's I can't figure out the inflection that is it inflection, the intonation, how you're meant to say the title, okay? Is it Free Guy or Free Guy? Free Guy? Free Guy? Free Guy. Because because the game name is called Free City and the character is called Guy. I just can't work out how to pause, because I've just been saying, oh, Free Guy, Free Guy, Free Guy, but is it Free Guy? Free Guy. It's just constantly, whenever I say it, I feel like I've said it wrong. That's my only issue. I just need someone to tell me how to say it, and then I'll be grand. For the ranking, I think I want to give Free Guy, it's the vibe. If I sit and think about it, I think that this might be in my top 10 of like favourite films of all time. It ticks a lot of boxes. It doesn't hurt that Ryan Reynolds is the star. It's got a good like storyline. It provides the action. It provides a bit of romance, but it's not overbearing. It's an all-around good time. So it's the vibe. And then I am gonna go with Fight Me. I don't think I need to explain this one. It provides the fights. A Whole New World. Again, this one feels quite self-explanatory, but I just think they make such a like clever and complex world for this film. Or I'm just incredibly stupid, and that's why I'm easily blown away by the world building. We'll go with that they've done it really well, because that boosts my ego. And then the last one I think is a toss-up between It's Legitimately Funny and Eyes Wide Open. But I think because I've given it A Whole New World, I think I'm going to go with It's Legitimately Funny, because it is it's a good time and it is funny. Like, I laughed, and I laughed even on my second watching of it, even though I've like, you know, the jokes don't necessarily get old. It's good. It's a good time. It's funny. It made me smile, which is always a plus. Like, you don't get bad vibes from this, so it's legitimately funny. How was that for spoiler free? Oh my days, I'm so impressed with myself. I was like stressing, I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna ruin it for people? No, I don't think I did. If you disagree in any way with anything I've said, I would actually love to hear your opinion and your reasoning, because I like hearing other people's opinions of films and TV shows, but currently we're talking about films. Along those lines, I want to ask, are there any films you're like, you need to watch this, otherwise you can't have opinions on the rest of films ever? Like, I know, okay, I still need to watch Star Wars and I still need to watch The Matrix, okay? But I would like to like make a list of things, and I'll go through it at my own pace. I think that's the end for this one. So I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh, my battery's running out. Okay. Do with that, like, you've got to take your chances, you know? Just be like, oh, pop me in. Oh, I could be in that scene. Oh, you need someone to say that line? You know? Vibes.